Hey guys, welcome back. I just wanted to talk for a couple minutes today about how fear talks. Fear has its own unique voice, its own way of talking about things, its own special brand of questions it asks. And you know that it's a fear conversation by the feeling. So your brain, your thoughts might ask something like simple, like, how do I bake this cake? How do I get to the new Target store that just opened? How do I find the best night cream for my skin? Great. Very straightforward, very simple. And you find yourself just either researching or looking at Google Maps or looking at your grandmother's old recipe book. But then there's questions that come straight from fear. And these are normal, healthy human questions. But it's really, really helpful if you can start noticing which questions are coming from fear. Because when you can start noticing by the feeling in your body, I mean, the feeling is a dead giveaway. If a question or a statement feels urgent, high stakes, really serious. Something is definitely, at stake. This is big. This is important. And I think that's kind of cool to see. If the question insists, this needs to be answered. Hurry. This is big. This is really huge. Then that is a question or a story or a statement coming from fear. And you'll feel it. It'll feel tight in the body. It'll feel like constriction in the chest. It'll feel like a knot in the belly or a band. I've heard a lot of my clients lately talk about it feels like a band around their head, kind of squeezing. The feeling is always the dead giveaway. Is this question or this statement coming from life? Is this question or this statement coming from fear? And if you can tell in the body that there's a constriction, there's a tightening, there's a gripping, there's a like a need to grip the steering wheel tighter and control and manage, there it is. Your question is coming from fear. The statement is coming from fear. So a question fear might ask is, what is my purpose? There's a big difference between, oh God, what is my purpose? I have no purpose. Fear, right? You can feel that in the body. And something lighter like, I wonder what I should do today. I wonder what wants to happen today. I kind of picture that coming just from life. Like, cool. What do I want to do today? What wants to happen today? Oh God, what is the point of my life? What is my purpose? Do I have a purpose? Is there a point to me being alive? You can feel it, can't you? Can you feel the difference? I wonder which ingredients would make this cake better. Great, hop on Google and find out. I wonder if I should eat that or if I'm going to have a terrible reaction because I'm really sensitive right now and my body really reacts to foods and maybe I should Google more about what histamine levels are in this food and how many nitrates are in this food. Okay, now we're in fear territory. So by the feeling in the body, you know if it's a question worth answering, even Googling, researching, reading a book about, great. Or if it's a question that is best left unanswered. So, a question that comes from fear, and you'll know it by the feeling in your body like, oh no, what should I do about this? How will I handle that? How can I fix that? How can I manage this? How will I cope? What is my purpose? Those are very normal, natural human fear questions. It's just how fear talks. Fear is not wrong. Fear just has its own unique way of speaking, and it definitely has its own unique list of questions. And the thing I want to point out about fear questions is the whole point of fear questions is to seem real. It will be like the most vivid 3D, 4D movie and it will have evidence and it will be so compelling and hypnotizing and mesmerizing that it will feel like you have to answer the fear questions in order to move on with your day. You have to have answers to fear's questions in order to be okay. But that's the trick of fear. I mean, that is fear's number one hook is it feels so real. Like, how will I avoid that bridge so I don't have to drive and feel panicky? And then you spend hours in Google Maps and finding alternative routes. And it looks like fear questions like, what is my purpose? I need to figure that out. Feels real, doesn't it? But it's not. It's a trick. It's a trick of fear. It's how fear hooks you in and keeps you up in your head, keeps you sort of a prisoner to your hands on the steering wheel, gripping and white knuckling instead of surrendering, instead of saying, okay, answers that need to come will come in their own perfect time. So when fear is asking a question, what's the best answer? I don't know. I don't know, but I trust that in any given moment, in real time, I will have the resources and the context to be guided through each situation as it happens. We had an All Is Well call this week. We have these little reunions, and one of the members of All Is Well was telling us about this head-on collision she was in while she was on vacation with her children. And she kind of walked us through the steps of this accident that happened and the emergency services that came and the conditions of the accident. And it was quite graphic and detailed. And after she kind of finished walking us through how it all played out, her takeaway was this deep gratitude, this incredible sense of compassion and warmth for this one man who happened to be there that helped. He actually carried people away from the accident. And her takeaway wasn't the trauma and how awful it was. It was in the midst of everything, we just knew what to do in the moment. And I said, do you think if someone would have said a week ahead, you're going to be in a head-on collision, your mind would have naturally gone to, oh, we'll know what to do. No. Fear has to come up and say, oh my God, you would never be able to handle it. It would be so traumatic. It would be so awful. But that's how fear talks. And it doesn't mean that it needs to be answered. Fear questions don't need answers, they just need presence. Hi, I see you. I acknowledge you. You're here. Not pushed away, not condemned. I mean, it's like condemning a cow for mooing instead of meowing. Like cows moo. Fear asks scary questions. Fear tells scary stories that are really compelling. That's how it speaks. So we don't want to push it away. We don't want to condemn it for speaking that way, asking scary questions. The way through this, the way to freedom and peace is just noticing, oh, I know from the feeling in my body that question's coming from fear. And the best way to meet, to have a relationship with fearful questions is not to answer them, but to just say, hi, you're here. This is how fear speaks. This is a fear question. I see you. I acknowledge you. I'm not going to answer you. I'm not going to feed you. I'm just going to say hi. You're here. I'm not going to push you away. I'm not going to say you're bad because fear's not bad. Fear's like every other emotion. It has its own unique voice, its own unique way of communicating. Fear questions don't need answers. What's my purpose? What am I doing here? How do I avoid that situation? How will I cope? Those don't need answers. They never, ever need answers. You don't need to go up into your head and search. Fear just needs presence. Hi, I see you. You're welcome to be here, and you are welcome to keep asking those questions almost as practice. Like, I see you again. Oh, that's a fear question. You don't need my answer, you just need my presence. If you are facing a lot of fear questions and fear stories right now, congratulations. I think the louder this gets, it just means you're ready. There is such a level of safety and trust within your system that it says, all right, fear, come on, let's have you. Just come on up, come on in. We don't want to ever condemn it. Just hold it for a minute. Hi, I see you. I'm not answering you. My challenge this week, if you want to play the game, because it's just a game, none of this is ever like serious. But if you want to play the game, next time you notice the feeling in your body that comes up when a question comes in, like, how will I or how can I? See if you can just for a second say, hi, you're a fear question. You can be here. You're welcome here, but I'm not going to answer. See how that feels. See if you can play with it. It really does start to make a huge difference in how your nervous system responds to fear. Remember, we don't want to push them away. We don't want to make those questions wrong or bad. They're not wrong or bad. We just want to see that they don't need to be answered, just acknowledged. Hi. I hope this helps, and I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.